Chile's President-elect Michelle Bachelet easily won her bid for re-election on Sunday. During her campaign, she promised to make ambitious changes that include reforming taxes and making education free for all. She also vowed to address social inequality in Chile. For more on all of this, we're joined live by our correspondent Dan Collins in Santiago. And has she raised expectations a little too high, Dan?
Hello, Mike. Well, some analysts say that she has, and that could be dangerous for her. But on the other hand, Michelle Bachelet, even during her campaign, was saying to her supporters that they had to be patient and these reforms could take years. On the other hand, of course, she did win by a landslide, and so that really is a mandate for change, if anything is. And of course, she has the background. She was the first democratically elected female leader in Latin America, and as she assumes the presidency of Chile for the second time, she seems to be older and wiser and more prepared to face the challenges ahead.
For many, Michelle Bachelet's election win was almost a foregone conclusion. Her popularity and her connection with the Chilean people were triumphantly clear on the streets of Santiago.
Celebrations here for Chile's next president, Michelle Bachelet, who triumphed by the biggest margin since this country returned to democracy more than 20 years ago. But that victory will be tempered by the low voter turnout, which could cause her problems to get a mandate to push through the reforms, which she says Chile needs.
Voter turnout was just 42%, but no one could take away her convincing victory. After a stint with the United Nations, the 62-year-old will be Chile's president for the second time. In her victory speech, she pledged she'd make good on her promises.
I am honored to be the Chilean president. I am proud of the country that we have founded, and what makes me prouder is that we are going to build a new country together.
But making education free and changing the dictatorship-era constitution will be tough tasks. Passing them will require more than 57% and 67% of congressional votes, respectively. She'll need to win over opposition legislators. Aside from the politics, the citizens have high expectations.
I think she can make the changes I want without being too radical. A new constitution, healthcare, education, and pensions.
Managing people's hopes will be a challenge too.
During the campaign, she has raised expectations as to what she will accomplish in her first year. So her biggest challenge will be to lower expectations and to show that she will do some things, but not everything she has promised.
Of 34 OECD nations, Chile has the biggest gap between rich and poor. Bachelet has declared her mission statement is to close that gap.
Well, Dan, we heard Patricio say that the expectations are very high. We know that she wants to hit the ground running. What do you expect to see once she does take office?
Well, of course, yeah, with the widest margin of victory in 4 presidential elections, we do expect her to hit the ground running. And another card in her favor is, off the back of these elections, her coalition, the new majority, has got a parliamentary majority in not only the lower house, but also in the Senate as well. So that will really give her the mandate and the power as well to push through this package of reforms, educational reforms, tax cuts, raising corporate tax, and of course also electoral and constitutional changes. She should get off to a very good start.
All right, Dan Collins live for us in Santiago. Thanks so much. We're going to stick with the subject of reforms. Mexico's government is